As a realtor, it's really important to stay disciplined on your budget. And I don't think that's very realistic for most realtors. In this video, I want to talk to you about a way that you can set up your finances on a system so you know how much money you have, and you don't have to mess with Excel spreadsheets if you don't want to. Let's get going. I'm Marcie Billen. I'm an entrepreneur because I'm a realtor, so I'm a small business owner, and American entrepreneurship tends to revolve around this hustle and grind mentality. I believe this mentality is a bunch of crap, and it's designed to keep our wheels spinning. Building repeatable systems is the most efficient way to build a business that's actually going to make you money. Repeatable systems are helpful at every level of business, including finances. Getting your finances set up in a way that's helpful for you can be hard in real estate because we work off of commissions, usually solely commissions, meaning we don't get a regular paycheck all the time. So let's talk about a way that you can set up your finances so that it's a system that makes sense to you and you know how much money you have. So this may come as a shock to you, but I don't have my finances set up on a traditional budget system. I work with my husband. We're a real estate team, and then we have 3 administrative assistants, we have 2 administrative assistants who work for us. And then I have some other people that I leverage stuff out to. For real estate, we're selling 40 to 50 houses per year. In Oklahoma, where our average sales price is around $230,000 to $250,000. Our average commissions that we take home are between 2 and 3%. So for my finances system, I use this system called Profit First, and it's by Mike McAlevitz, and he wrote this amazing book about it, and you're gonna go read it because it's awesome and I love it. And you may have seen my last video where I explained how I stumbled upon this system and why I love it so much and how it really kind of saved me from sleepless nights. So I will link that video down in the description below. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to set this up specifically for a new agent. Now, you don't have to do it this way, but this is how I tell new agents to set up the system, and I think it's really helpful if you stick to it. The system will help you not get in over your head for money. And this could also be helpful if maybe you've been in the business a while but just want to kind of get back to your finances being in the black. The way I'm going to set this up here is usually really good for someone who only has 1 income or maybe 1.5 incomes. If you have someone supporting you while you get on your way to becoming an amazing realtor, then you may not want to use the system in this way. But if you're kind of doing this on your own and really want to leverage a system that could work for you and make your business grow a little bit faster, then I would think about doing this. So the basic system for Profit First is this. You're going to have 5 accounts. And those accounts are going to be income, profits, tax, operating expenses, which I'm going to call OPEX, and then owner compensation. So when you have a functioning business, meaning that you're bringing in money, every single commission check you get is going to be deposited into this income account. These are 5 checking accounts, and it would be great, of course, if you set up your LLC first so that you can have these as business bank accounts. So then twice a month, you're going to move money from your income account into these other accounts based on their percentages. So let's run through the percentages really quick, and I'll show you what I mean by this. So let's say that you get a $10,000 check, speaking good things into the universe. And as we said, income is at 100%, right? So then profit is at 5%. And what is 5% of $10,000? It's going to be $500. Your tax account is going to be set at 15%. And 15% of $10,000 is $1,500. And then your operating expenses are going to be set at 30%, and that is going to be $3,000. And then you have your owner compensation set at 50%, and that, of course, is $5,000. There are, of course, other rules associated with this, but I want to show you how to set this up if you're a brand new agent or an agent who's trying to get a handle maybe on your expenses and don't have a good record of those expenses. I really think it's important that you go read this book, Profit First, and I understand if you don't want to, or you want to see an overview of how the system is actually going to serve you. If you want to know what we do with the money in these different accounts, then you're going to have to go watch the first video that I made about Profit First. And I will link it, of course, in the description for you, and I'll put it up here. So these percentages are all well and good. Like, these are our target percentages. This is where you're trying to get to if you're making $250,000 gross a year or less, meaning that you're taking in a total of $250,000 and using that to fund your business and your life. But this is not where you're probably going to start off. It's not where I started off whenever I started doing Profit First. So let me show you how to set this up for a new agent who maybe doesn't have another source of income or anyone else helping to support them. So here is what I would do. So you're still going to have these 5 accounts. You're going to have income, profit, tax, operating expenses, and owner compensation. Okay? So if I'm a brand new agent, this is what I'm going to do. We have our income account, which is set at 100%. So that's going to be $10,000. That's our first check because we're putting that good vibe into the universe. And then our profit account, we're going to start off at 1%, which is going to be $100. For taxes, we're going to start off at 5%, which is going to be $500. For operating expenses, we're going to start off at 19%, so $1,900. So for the operating expenses, this is your dues that you have to pay in order to be a realtor. Like if we have super keys, this is how we get into our house. You may not have the same thing, but you probably have a way to open up lock boxes. And then we also have our state fees, which is our Oklahoma real estate commission fees, MLS fees, education fees, office fees. There's lots of fees associated with being a realtor, and this is how you're going to pay them. And then 75% of this $10,000 is going to go into your owner compensation account. Now I'm saying 75% because if you're just starting out, or maybe you're starting over again in real estate or whatever, you need a little bit more than that 50%. So that's why we're manipulating these percentages so that you can have more than 50% of that check, of that $10,000 check, or that $20,000 check, or even that $5,000 check, right? So this, of course, is going to be $7,500. And that is going to be all yours. I do talk about in my first video how you're supposed to pay yourself a salary, and I'm not an idiot. I know that in your first few months of real estate, when you get that check, you have to pay bills. You have to feed yourself. You usually take that whole thing and you spend it. And that is okay because you need that money, but that can't stop you, or that shouldn't stop you from putting a system in place that's going to help you have financial freedom within your real estate business. And I think this one is really helpful. This is not about perfection. This is about using a system that's going to work for you as an individual real estate agent or someone who's thinking of yourself as a business owner, because you should be thinking of yourself as a business owner because you are one. This system will help you grow your business with cash and know how much money you have at any given point. And the reason why you know how much money you have is because you can just open up these individual accounts in your bank app and look and see how much money is there for a specific thing, like taxes. You have $500 right now for taxes. Perfect. For operating expenses, you have $1,900 right now for operating expenses to pay all of your dues and all that stuff. You know how much owner compensation that you have. That's why I love this system, because there's no guessing. So then how do we get our percentages to look more like these? These are our target percentages. This is where we want to end up. So how do we do that? I'm going to turn this a different color so that we can look at it and it'll be more fun. So I'm going to turn it purple. So here's what we do. So at the quarters, because Profit First uses quarters a lot. And when you read the book or watch my first video, you'll see that. So let's say we're at the end of first quarter. So first quarter is January, February, March. So April 1 starts second quarter. So at April 1, we're going to adjust our percentages. Let's say you've been, making some money and you now can afford to not pay yourself 75% because you're making more money than that, and you can fund your business, your operating expenses with the rest so that you can grow an even bigger and more profitable business if you desire. So in order to manipulate these numbers, here's what we're going to do. We see that owner compensation is way over what we need it to be. We need it to be at 50%. It's going to take you a little while to get there, maybe even years. It took me a little over a year and a half to get to these target allocations. A year and a half. Be patient. Work the system because it will work for you. So for owner compensation, what we're going to do is we're going to take off 5%. So it's going to be at 70% because you're making more money now. So it's just a percentage, remember? And then we have to move this money around. So we have 5% to distribute between these 3 accounts. So I would start by putting profit at 2%, taxes at 7%, and operating expenses at 21%. So I added 2% to operating expenses, 2% to taxes, and 1% to profit. Make sense? This is slow and steady because your business is going to be steady and you have to work the system. So then the next quarter, so this would be at the end of, at the beginning of quarter 2, end of quarter 1. So at the next quarter, then maybe you would change this again and you would take this down to 65%, and then maybe you would take this to 23%, and then 9%, which is probably about where your taxes will end up if you're in Oklahoma. If you're not in Oklahoma, then just maybe measure it or just get up to that 15% as fast as you can. I didn't keep my taxes at 15% for very long because it was too much. I didn't need them that many taxes to be paid. And then you're going to have profit at 3%. So that would be possibly at the end of quarter 2. If you're not making enough to move the percentages, then don't move them. Okay. A quarter is nothing in the real estate world. Just keep your head down and keep working. So you might be asking, how on earth is this a budget? Well, it is a budget, I promise. How do you normally figure out how much money you have? You normally just open up your bank account and look at the balance in your bank account, right? So that's all we're doing here. We're leveraging the fact that as humans, that's what we do. We just look at the balance in our bank account. So if we just separate out all of this money and we can look and open up our operating expense account and see that we have, $5,000 in there, then that's a budget because you know how much money you can spend because you have $5,000 in the account. We are leveraging a habit that we humans just tend to have. And there's no Excel spreadsheets involved. Using profit first in this way is purely my opinion. Mike McAlevitz doesn't say to start off like this, but he doesn't say not to either. I think I'm maybe familiar enough with real estate agents to give some insight on what might be the best way to start. And this is one of my opinions. I hope this is helpful. If it is, will you go ahead and drop a comment for me down below? I really appreciate it. Also, the book Profit First is linked in the description, as is that first video. And I really hope that you watch this video next.